Welcome to part 2 of me trying to beat Elden Ring the quote-unquote right way. It's not technically the right way. There is no right way. What I wanted to do was learn how to beat these bosses. Right up in their face. No running and hiding. And as you'll see, this is not a video or a series of me showing how awesome I am. No, I'm not great. This is a story of persistence. You die, you learn, you do better, hopefully, and you persist. This is kind of a life lesson. Have dreams. Fail big. Fail miserably, learn from them, learn from that failure, persist, get better. Sounds easy, it isn't easy, it's painful. But if there's anything in your life that you want to do and it's worth doing, you're going to be terrible at it, and that's fine. Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled program of me getting the crap kicked out of me by a giant reptile with a sword in its mouth. So as you can see, after several attempts, finally got this giant sucker down. Okay, so we're picking up with I just beat Estelle. Now I'm going to propose to my wife. I love that sound. It's a little goofy, but I'm a little goofy, so it fits perfectly. And there is the monstrosity that we call the Two Fingers. This really is a horror video game. Alright, now the gatekeeper to get into Lindale without some kind of skip or glitch, which I don't have the patience for. These guys look all cute and cuddly like giant snowmen, and then they shoot magic bubbles at you that blow you up. There's all kinds of stuff here that wants to kill you. This is me sneaking around. Get up here, get past whatever those things are, and fight the first sort of boss in this video. You're going to see me struggle with the timing a little bit because I'm a little rusty. I thought I was further to the left just then than I was. It should have missed me, but I wasn't in a good position. The recovery time and the attack time for the colossal weapons does take some getting used to. But man, that stance damage. And I don't know the proper term, but I think everybody knows what I'm talking about when I say stance damage. Poise break, whatever you want to call it. And that's me running away so that I can heal before I get conked on the head. A couple of extra dodges, but yeah, what are you gonna do? Now the goal, obviously, because I think I misspoke. I think I actually go to level 55 before I get to the end. The goal, obviously, is I want to do a level 1 run. And there's Ugly. With his ghost chairs, I guess. Weird how they're there and then not the next second. The Omen King. He's annoying for me. Some people love this boss. I mean, he's an okay boss. He looks cool. He's got cool looking moves. But he has inconsistent attack windows. See, like I forgot that you can't actually attack there. And I guess technically they are consistent, but I'm not seeing the difference. You know, for example, he does a series of attacks and you dodge to the right and you're slightly behind him and he won't do the follow-up. If you dodge to the right and you're slightly in front of him, he will. And to a certain extent, all of the bosses are like that. But I struggle with this one more. I don't know why. Here, have a knife. I didn't want his poise to reset. I'm not even 100% sure that that works, but see, that was me eating one to keep the poise. I'm not doing terrible so far. Now I am. Doink. Him and his brother consistently give me more trouble than most bosses. And it shouldn't be that way. But that's just how my brain is, apparently. Like, in a lot of ways, I would rather fight Melania than fight Morgott. And I realize how insane that sounds on the face of it. But I also spent an inordinate amount of time fighting Melania, learning every possible move that she does, and I can confidently dodge all of them with the exception of point blank waterfowl. Sometimes I can. Actually, that's easier than mid-range, because I've found, yeah, that's me being childish. Nobody watch. This is another thing that bugs me. Melina knew the entire time that I couldn't get into the Erd Tree. She knew there were thorns there, yet didn't say anything about it. Anyway, back to Melania. I think I can dodge waterfowl up close better than I can at mid-range, because mid-range you can't really get all the way away from her on the first series. And at that range, I don't feel confident getting close enough to circle her. Anyway, none of that matters. I'm getting obliterated just trying to get this grace. This is another boss that really is not hard, but I haven't dedicated. I think that's the problem. He's not so hard that it required several hours of me fighting him to be able to kill him, but I'm gonna have to know him much better than I do now to do a level 1 run. Ideally, at some point, I'll do a, I don't care about no-hitting the game. That doesn't sound fun to me. I don't know if I could even do it. But I do think that I could get to where I can no-hit the bosses. And it's not going to be one of those things where if I get hit, then I restart. No. If I get hit, then I quit out and I go back in to fight the boss again. And I keep doing that until I get the no-hit. That's probably the setup that I'm going to use. But level 1 comes first. Actually don't know which one will be harder now that I'm thinking about it. Anyway, so you have to dodge all this crazy crap. I finally learned to dodge in on that instead of dodging away, because the lightning starts at the point that his foot hits the ground and then surges outward, kind of like the Draconic Tree Sentinel. That might annoy people, but for the longest time, every time I killed a boss, that's what I heard in my head. Old Capcom game. I had to explain to my son what that even was. Alright. Here we have a very very annoying boss. Not because he's overly difficult. He just is so sporadic. And he has these weird aerial attack things that he can do in phase 2, and you really can't see what's going on half of the time. I mean, after a while you pick up on the tails, you can tell by like how he's carrying his weight when you're standing under him, where his feet are. Apparently that doesn't always help though. Still get conked by that shield. Let's see if you're not paying attention. I don't know how many times I died in previous runs because I was standing next to his foot when the fire came up, and then he would move and shove me into the fire. I mean, all things considered, this run is actually going pretty well. There haven't been too many huge problems. That obviously isn't something you want to be standing right up on him for. The fire orbs are a little annoying. You gotta be careful from them because they like to explode. And then these, also not helpful. Now, I did edit this video a couple days ago, so I'm struggling to remember exactly what happened. So I'm kind of figuring it out as you all are, but I'm pretty sure what happens is my controller dies. And I think it just stops right when I'm getting ready to kill him. I don't know what I was swinging at there. I guess I thought that giant nose could be hit from the ground. I need to find a better way to attack him in that state. Yep, here we go. I can move with the mouse, I can look around, but that's all I can do. It's a bummer. It was going very well. And then I lost it. Lost all composure. And then I finally get him down this low with no heals. Finally get the kill, and I still have to dodge these freaking orbs. Like, is it not bad enough that you have to kill the boss, but you also have to survive whatever else they left? Anyway, whatever. Now my girlfriend practices self-immolation, which is sad. There is a way you can get around this, but she will be very, very mad at you, and you will kill Torrent. Spoiler alert. Do not do the Frenzy Flame ending. And as you can see, I'm struggling with the dogmen. I can always make it to the Grace, but then 2 or 3 of them follow me in here. Okay, so the Godskin duo. I even crafted sleep pods. I was so tempted, but part of me was like, that's kind of cheating. Even though it's 2 of them, I want to see if I can kill them. I think I'm level 50 at this point. And as you can see, I'm already screwing that up. I do know, well, I know Fatty's timing better, even though you couldn't tell by watching this fight. I don't know Skinny quite as well. I call this move the jelly roll. Alright, so I got him close to half. That's not a terrible attempt. I think I saw a video of a guy, Ongbal, I believe is how you pronounce it, O-N-G-B-A-L. He's absolutely incredible at this game. I saw him trying to keep the aggro from Fatty and sort of keep them separate, but he was parrying, and that seemed like a fairly efficient way of taking them out. But I wanted to speed it up, so once I kind of focused on Fatty, killed him, tried to take out Skinny before he could summon him again, that way I could keep this a one-on-one. I think I gave up on the parry completely. Yep, here's a fireball to the face for your efforts. I was trying to stagger him before he was able to summon him, but at least I kept him from doing Jelly Roll on me. Took a few attempts. I had done quite a bit of practice before I actually did this run. Yeah, at that point, it's like, dude, if I even breathe on you wrong, you're dead. That's how little health you have. And on to Malekith. A boss that I actually don't mind fighting. I know his moves pretty well, even though, you know, that. I actually screwed this up. I don't know what happened to the original video of when I fought him, but it was gone. So I had to use Cheat Engine to go in and revive him so that I could fight him again and have the video for it. So the original fight looked much worse than this. So, I mean, technically I did it originally, and I think I actually did the video 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I've fought him a few times since then, so this one went a lot smoother. I didn't know how else to fix that. I didn't want to just leave it blank. I actually fought him, and this is the same account. I don't remember what level I was. 50, 55 when I originally fought him. I might be a couple levels higher, but I still didn't go higher than 55 by the end. Anyway, now the beginning of that fight went spectacular, and then I started flubbing it at the end, whiffing attacks. I should have already got him out of here. I got a little too passive, I think. If I was a little bit more aggressive, he'd be done already. See, there's an opening for an attack there. I'm still a little iffy on like some of the timing on the colossal weapons. I know I keep saying that, but that's where the hesitancy came from. I'm fairly certain in my head you can easily do a light attack right there. And even if he does his spinneroonie thing where he lights everything on fire and you still have time to do that. So there's a minute and a half of me waiting to do that. Now it does lead to a pretty awesome cutscene. I really like this. So I'm gonna shut up and let it play through. It would be so mean if I spliced in a video of Rickroll. That would be funny though. Oh, I cut some of it out. Why would you do that? Well, it's just guys looking around. They see the Erd Tree on fire. I mean, the city falls onto the city. So then I went to fight one of my least favorite bosses in the game. I do not like him. He has a pretty cool cutscene too, but he sucks, so this doesn't count. Okay, this is a pretty sick way to introduce a boss. I'll give him that, but he still sucks. And I don't completely understand this. I thought Mikola had been dead for a while. Like, he was at the Hway tree with Melania, and then Mo stole the body, brought him here. So why is his arm sticking up in the air, and why is it just now falling, and why is there blood coming out, and why does he look like a zombie? All questions that I do not have answers for. How did this tub of lard pull out of a very thin pool of blood? Also, no answer. He is creepy. I don't put it all on him though, because Mikola has some ability to charm people. If you play the DLC, it becomes apparent, and you actually break that charm at some point, and some of the people kind of wake up and come out of their stupor. But I put most of it up. Moog's just creepy. With or without a magic charm, he's a weirdo. And he must be destroyed. I just wish I could have done it better than I did. Here's a poke. There's a frost proc. Those are always nice. And he does the lovely knee heal at some point here. I was hoping I could stagger him out of it, but I don't know that you can do that. But I sure tried. Lion's Claw is so much fun. This is the crap that I hate. You're just standing around in blood flame. He's blowing you up. He's flinging crap at you. He's constantly resetting his poise because he flies all over the map. But anyway, you screw up, you learn, and you persist, hopefully. I'm sure if I would just slow down, pay a little bit more attention to where I'm at, what I'm doing, this would go much smoother than it did. But I hate him so much, I don't want to take 2 hours and just sit and fight him over and over again until I can flawlessly do it. I mean, at some point I'll have to. If I do a level 1 run, I'll have to play way better. Like, I knew that exploded. I have no idea what I was doing. At this point, I just want it to end. Somebody hit him, please, for the love of God. I could throw a snowball at him. That's what I'm thinking. Hadouken. So sloppy. I'm not pleased with that one at all. Oh, that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you all for hanging in there. Hopefully these will keep getting better and better. Next video should be pretty packed. We have Godric and Radabeast, Melania. Can't forget her. Thank you guys for watching. I love you all. God bless.